So, as there's been some developments in the garden, I thought we'd have a little look. The rock plants here, you can see, have finished flowering, but they are looking extremely healthy. I'm pleased to say one of them has dropped onto here, and I am hoping that eventually is all covered by that rock plant. The next thing, that is Nana. Now, Nana is interesting because she came to me as a circular fern, and the circle is round there. That's the original circle. That died during the winter because of the wind tunnel that comes rushing along here and through that little gap just there, just where the slightly yellower plants are. And I thought she'd gone altogether, but I have a habit of leaving the relics lying around just in case new growth occurs, and I don't quite know how it's happened, whether it's actually just sent an offshoot or whether she's just grown, but she's not in a circle shape anymore. She's sort of just like a carpet, and she is spreading ridiculously quick, as in since the start of the heat wave. At the start of the heat wave 2 weeks ago, she wasn't touching that stone there, and she wasn't touching that stem. She's now engulfed that. I've left a plant there, which I don't know if that's a weed or not, but I want to leave some space to try and deter Nana from actually going over the rock plants. This I've been watering greatly because this is actually a water reed, and it's looking quite green, but you can see where the heat has affected it. It's also flowered there, which is good. My agapanthus, if it's possible to zoom in on it. No possibility of zooming in. Oh, there we are. That's my agapanthus just there. There we are. And it's closed up again. It's basically had its flower and it's died. The Pink Fuzz is now completely pink, and you can see that at the top there are actually little buds. These are the buds down there, and the flowers have actually opened at the top. They're a favourite of the bees, more so than anything else. The other thing you can see a lot of are the horizontal lilies. You see there's some there. They're all white, unfortunately. There's some over there as well. They are not quite as attractive as I thought they would be. I thought they were going to be different colours, but they're mostly white. There we are, never mind. I like them, they're just not quite as colourful as the rest. We only have 4 heathers now. We lost another heather down there, and that was probably because of the blooms. They just went mad, taking over the space. You can see now that there is not much left of the blooms at all. In fact, they're looking, they've pretty much had their season. They've had 2, sometimes 3 flowerings, which is fantastic. This is the fluffy bluebell, and I think 2 things happened here. First, it got too dry after the first spell of flowers, which are round this side here, and then the grass, which is up there, you can see, nearly as tall as the rose, came over, and I think it just ruined it. So I cleared that away, and I've watered it more, and look, it's started to come back, so that's good. The leaves of my little cyclamen there look good, but the flower has gone. And there's a spring bell down here which should have died I don't know how many months ago. Now I have some wild poppies right at the bottom here. These are the wild poppies. They look quite, the leaves look similar, don't they, to the, see, that's the bloom and that's the poppy. I'm keeping some of these just to add some flavour, because this area is now going to look a little bit desolate, isn't it? And those will spread. There you are. That's what they'll look like when they come out. My pinks have gone bananas. But again, they had to be liberated from grass, like that bit over there that was just sort of leaning. The alpine has had its day with flowers, and these stalks are still alive, you see, but the flower heads are dead. But you can see it's going all funny colours, and it's grown, it's doubled in size, which is pleased me. This, I have no idea what this was, but whatever it is, it's doing very well. It looks lovely, but it doesn't like direct contact with water, not on the flowers, and that's why some of them have shrivelled before their time. Speaking of shrivelled, that's had its day. It's flowered, and now it is actually going to die. I'm just a little too late in digging that up, as suggested to me by Flo, who knows her rhododendrons, and it's gone. However, something that's come back was my beautiful palm. This is date palm, and you can see how big it was, and the wind at the last hurdle, it was the gales earlier this year that knocked it out. But you can see the green growth in the centre, so hopefully that will spring up. In case anybody's wondering, the yuccas never came back. But there is my Japanese fern on top of the mass that got burnt by the winds last year. So that's good. Windmill palm still looking okay. The banana plant never came back, and none of the Canna have. In fact, if I go round, I'll go back and round so you can see what is left of them. If we sit down here, then you can see those are the Canna stalks from last year, and they haven't come up, but there is a huge network under here, which I accidentally dug up, you see, partly here, with bulbs and stuff. So I'm leaving it in the ground in the hope that maybe it's just taking a year out, and maybe it's going to come back. Nothing will kill this. This is my Helleborus orientalis, and behind it you see the foxgloves that have just finished seeding. There was 2, and I actually got a bonus with a 3rd popping up. The variegated marigolds are on their 2nd flowering, and I have to say that the red and white begonias have gone absolutely mental. My little cordyline has almost fully recovered, but the big cordyline is still not doing too well, having been burnt by the wind. But I am encouraged that if we look down here, the scent of it looks okay. Along here, the fairy salvia is back. Now, this is a very, very quick moving plant, and it's spread into the garden. It has spread onto the terrace, and I leave it in some areas and get rid of it in others, and I'll explain why. Over here, if you zoom in, there you are, that's some of the salvia there, and I've left that because I'm thinking that there's a space there for it to fill. But I got rid of some of the salvia because it also has a horrible tendency of taking root right next to the base of a plant and strangling that plant underground. So I remove it if it's close to anything I want to keep. The red hot pokers are back, but have yet to show any signs of flowering. The grasses have gone mad, and they're now well and truly meeting, which is fantastic. My holly, I don't know. I don't know whether this is wind that has done this damage on this new growth, or whether it could be the heat. I'm hoping it's the heat, because if it's the wind, we're screwed. It's only going to get worse. But the fir has done well. Finally, the non-variegated French marigolds have gone. They all got stripped. I don't know what happened. They just didn't cope with the wind earlier on. They've gone. But the lupins have gone mad. Now, we had 5 towers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We now have a further 6th one there. There's a 7th one round the corner. There's an 8th one down there. There's a 9th one there. And a 10th one. That's 10 from 3 plants. But were destined just to die before I plopped them in. So that's a success story. All in all, not too bad. I do water this now every night with 4 watering cans worth. 1 watering can covers this side here. 2nd watering can covers that side there. A 3rd watering can to cover the middle bit around here, and then the final one covers the outside. Obviously, special emphasis is given to the plants that actually need the water, like the water reed here. Oh look, there's a bee. The thing is, can I manage to zoom in before he? Oh no, he's gone. He's around somewhere. There is a bee. There's a bee floating around. I'm quite pleased because the bees love the pink fuzz. That's the thing that they like most, or have liked most in this garden, which is fantastic. It's also, I think, one of my favourite plants as well. I mean, look, how exotic looking does that look?